Hey lovely Simlies, it's Deligracy here with a Sims 3 speed build. We're going to be building a one-bedroom contemporary kind of private island beach pad for, I guess, maybe a bachelor or a bachelorette or a couple, maybe who have a baby. But you could easily expand this, like put a level on top if you wanted to add some extra rooms into it. I've kind of built it that way. But when I Skyped you guys to celebrate reaching 100,000 Simlies slash subscribers, a lot of you guys were asking for more Sims 3 builds. So I wanted to do another Sims 3 speed build, and I wanted it to be in Isla Paradiso because I kind of missed that beachy island world that we haven't got in The Sims 4 yet. So that's why I decided to do. There's a bit of constrained floor elevation cheat in this. Obviously, I missed that in The Sims 4, so I was like, well, I'm going to use it. And what we're actually doing with it is we're creating, I guess, a contemporary home that is very boxy, but then it kind of has, in a way, like I'm trying to think of the best way to describe it at this point, but it's kind of got a border around the roof of it and also a border below it of exposed wood or exposed wooden beams. So I thought that was kind of cool. And it takes me a little while to figure out exactly how the best way to build it is going to be, but I think it works in the end. I actually built this on my laptop whilst I was away because I wanted to work on some videos for you guys. And because of that, you might be able to hear my laptop in the background. It's a MacBook Pro, and the graphics card isn't as awesome as my iMac at home. So if you guys are noticing that the graphics are a little bit off, especially in the screenshots, that's why, because it's Mac and it hasn't really been custom built or added to make the graphics a little bit better. So it's quite interesting seeing the difference between my iMac actually and the laptop, because I did ask for a better graphics card and a few other things in my iMac. So it's kind of interesting to see. But, you know, you get the general gist of it. It's still a build. I've still gone to the effort, and I don't know, I was really happy with it. So this is basically the outside shape. I love how it comes across the water, and where this part was really frustrating because I had to go around and do all these little walls, and we're about to lower them down to the same size as that area of the house, or that level of the house, the size it should be, or the height it should be. And the problem is, once you do that with constrained floor elevation, you get all these little arrows. So you need to then go back and, well, the only way I know how to fix this is you go back and you individually, on each of the walls where the arrow is above, you actually have to hold down control and kind of delete and rebuild it. So that's what we're doing just here, which took ages, but because it's a speed build for you guys, it looks like it's easy peasy business. The interior of this house, I really liked. I actually was going to do a much darker interior. On the exterior, you'll see that we start off with quite a strong contrast between the wallpapers that we use. So we choose like an orangey wood with a charcoal wood, which is pretty full on in my mind. But in the end, we lighten it all up once I do get to the interior of the house, because I kind of wanted to build it in the style that I actually personally really like. So that's what we end up doing. And yeah, just constrained floor elevation going up and down, getting rid of those extra tiles around there. So it's got the illusion of looking like wooden beams, which, I don't know, I think it kind of worked. I think it did. This house was inspired by one I found on Tumblr. I thought it was pretty cool, except the one on Tumblr I think was in a forest. It wasn't like on a beach. Yeah. But one thing that's nice about this house is I quite like the layout of it inside. It's got this entrance on the side here, and it kind of goes into a nice small entrance room, and then there's the corridor that looks out to the ocean, which then leads you to the main part of the house, where there's a dining table, a kitchen, a galley kitchen, I think it's called, or a gallery kitchen, and then you've got a nice big living area at the front of the room. Just going for a quick sneaky save there. a nice big open lounge room that looks straight out onto the ocean, which I thought was really nice. And then the master bedrooms on the other side in the smaller portion, so more closer to the entrance of the house. And it has an ensuite as well, so there's going to be 2 bathrooms in here. I wasn't sure if I wanted to do diagonal beams on the corners of the house, but I think it works out best having it more open than the other beams. And we also extend it to 2, I guess, 2 cubic sizes. I know, 2 squares in length, those beams, because I wanted them to actually look like they were coming underneath the house or going underneath the house, which makes it, I know, look a little bit more realistic in my mind. But yeah, I always use this circular carpet all the time for the flooring when I begin a house. It's just like the standard one I use, but of course we get rid of that and change it up a little bit. And it was so nice using Creative Style again. I really strongly believe that The Sims 4 needs at least a color wheel. We don't need all the textures and patterns, but we need a color wheel in it. I just think that players will get bored more easily, and I think it will limit players in a lot of ways and will limit their creativity a lot if it's not something they add to the game at some point. I don't know. I just really hope that they do, but I know a while back they said they absolutely wouldn't be adding a color wheel. So I don't know, but I feel like lately there's been a little bit more talk about it. It hasn't been a straight out no, I feel. So I don't know. I'm not at all affiliated, obviously, with EA or The Sims or anything like that, so I'd have no idea, but I just really hope that they do somehow incorporate it, because I just feel like it's something that tons of players would want. And it's not even just in the build mode, it's also in Create a Sim. Create a Sim, like doing the hair and the makeup, it'd be really nice to be able to change those colors with swatches. Be cool. But it's only early days, so I guess we'll see. We've almost finished the details on this build, where we're getting to the top level now, so we're going around there. It's kind of fun doing this. Repetitive, but fun. I don't know, I just enjoyed it. And the only thing is, the graphics in The Sims 3 just seems, I know I've been on my laptop, so it's not as good, but it's still, the graphics are just, in The Sims 4 are just incredible. So it is interesting going back and thinking, oh, it's not quite as good, is it? But Sims 3, I don't know. I think Sims 3 is one of those games that's always going to be fun to play. Definitely. So this is the flooring and the wallpapers we're starting to look at. So we went with like an orange wood, and that's what I was originally going to go with, like I said earlier, but we do change it up a bit. I don't know, it felt like it was very rich on the exterior, and we're in this beach world where everything's like about nature and it's on an island, and you know, I think you think more of beached wood or washed up wood, like soft colors, or worn colors even. So that's why I ended up changing it. But I mean, this is kind of cool at the start. It's got the grey wood there with the orange trim. I think it's kind of cool. And then we're also going to change all the colors of all of those stilts underneath, so they're nice and charcoal. Make it so it's all matching, which is good. And for some reason, I couldn't actually change the color of the thingamabobs in the middle there. I don't really know why. So yeah, also doing a trick that I learnt from the Sim Supply, James, he always blacks out unused walls or flooring. So in parts of the house that aren't actually used by the Sims, he always blacks it out. And then for some reason, I go into the habit of that. That thin rectangle at the back of the house there that we just drew in, like that really thin room, that's actually going to have some foliage in there. It's going to have greenery, which I thought was kind of cool. It was a cool idea. That would be something, if I lived in a really contemporary home, I think that would be really cool to have. And the other rectangular room in the middle is actually the bathroom. So that's easy to get to, right bang in the middle of the house. And we actually mount the TV onto the side of it to putting in just some small windows here. We've used the Move Objects cheat to overlap some of the windows to create some nice kind of cubic patterns on there. And then we have a front door here, which I put in the corner. I don't like things that are symmetrical, so we put a big window with it. And yeah, I don't know, it's coming along. White walls to begin with, but we do end up changing the walls quite a bit and figuring out what kind of walls I did want to have in this build. What was the interior going to be like? So we end up looking through a few woods and we go for, I can't remember. Yeah, originally we go for polished concrete floors, but in the end we actually change it to like a white wood, which I thought suited this beach house idea. You know, this could be a vacation home for your wealthy Sims families. Maybe they would come out to vacation here, just the adults, when they wanted to get away from the kids, or maybe it's a business Sims house, or a businessy bachelor lives here or bachelorette. So it's kind of cool. So this is us trying out the darker colors to begin with and the polished concrete. I think it's pretty nice. I just thought it was a bit harsh for where the house is, in my opinion. And sometimes you just want to go with a style that you like. Like I do build in styles that if this was real life, I wouldn't actually live in. Like it's not really my thing, but I still enjoy creating it for a character that I'd imagine. But for this, I actually want to do what I like. So we'll get there in a sec. Just trying out different wallpapers. The best thing in The Sims is to just try out different things, constantly change different patterns, go into different genres of textures or whatever, go into different texture styles. And it's amazing what you can find when you actually take the time to experiment. My favorite stone wallpaper, which is actually on that central rectangle of the house, that stone pattern, I think I found in like a random spot. It was green and it was gross, but then I realized when you change it to grey, it's actually really beautiful. Struggling with this interior part because the trees kept sticking out through the side, and I was like, I don't know about that. So we try out a few things, but in the end, I actually use the plants from the decor section to fill it up. Combined with the rocks, we kind of overlap them a little bit, and I just felt like it looked a bit more realistic without things clipping through windows. I often get trees clipping through windows without realizing in The Sims until I go through the screenshots. I'm like, oh, I didn't realize. But you know, it's coming together better now. I do like the kitchen as well. I think the kitchen's really nice. But yeah, just a middle area for the greenery. I think greenery in homes might start to become more common, I think, as homes. I feel like homes, especially in a lot of European countries, Japan as well, a lot of homes are becoming smaller and smaller because it's more affordable and there's obviously less space. And so there's been some really interesting designs if you look around architecturally, and it's just interesting how people are starting to bring the outdoors indoors because they don't really have room for a backyard, or they don't have room for balcony space necessarily. So there's all these interesting things being made, and I just feel like greenery is coming indoors more and more. So kind of liked having a play with that. And I mean, in Australia here, especially where I live, there is a lot of space outdoors. A lot of people have backyards and room in the front yard too. But obviously for a lot of you guys where you guys live, there wouldn't be as much room for that. Or maybe you share a backyard with your neighbor or something like that. It's really interesting. But anyways, we are going with the lighter wood style now. So we're filling all of that in and making it look pretty. I just think it suits the world a bit better. And I don't know, I just dig it more. I'm just liking it more. Just kind of going with my personal style. And this looks like I'm not even doing anything here, but I could tell by the sounds that the game makes that it wasn't filled in yet. So we went with that. I kind of liked the charcoal roof still there, and it matched the darker windows, which I kept. And, you know, we've pretty much got the flooring, the wallpapers in it. It's very light, beachy feel inside. We have the wood that matches the exterior. We have the stone wall, and a white wall at the moment. two stone walls actually, and a white wall. We actually changed the white walls to both a soft blue color and also a minty soft green, which is going to go in the master bedroom, which I kind of like. But how cool is this? How the kitchen just looks into that little green area, which is going to be changed up a little bit soon. But I imagine you would have a door on the end and then you'd have like herbs in the middle of it. I didn't do that with the plants because I know the Sims wouldn't really be able to walk all the way through to take care of the plants. It'd just get annoying. But that's what I think you'd do in real life, like have all your mint and your herbs in there. Is it true that is it Americans call them herbs, not herbs? Like it's herbs, like there's an H, but I feel like I've heard people just say herbs. I don't know. If you guys let me know about that, I'd actually be very interested. Or maybe I just have been mishearing. I don't know. Putting in a few things around the place. That fruit bowl is actually going to go on the dining table in a second. I just thought it would look a little bit nicer. And figuring out what dining table to put in here. Because I have less expansions and stuff packs in the game on my laptop. Because my laptop isn't really it's not for playing Sims or computer games. My laptop's for other things, such as design, but that's why I don't have as many expansion packs in it, because that would slow it down, obviously. But it's kind of a challenge having less. I mean, I've gotten used to having the luxury of having all the stuff packs and all the expansion packs and quite a fair amount of store content. So it's fun to be a bit more limited. So then it really makes you experiment with the items that are there. And yeah, it's a good time. Figuring out the carpet here, I was like, I thought I'd go for nudie brown colors, like neutral browns. But then I thought, nah, we'll inject a bit of color in here, get a bit of color into the space. If you guys want to go back to neutrals, you can. Because myself, I would definitely put color in a room. As much as neutrals look lovely and very sophisticated, I just need a pop of color. That's just me. So the carpet looked better, I thought, when it was stripped back a bit, making a lot of those smaller swatches into the same color. So it was only just a little bit of white in there. Sometimes I like to cancel out a part of the pattern because it just, I don't know, it looks a bit better. This is the TV cabinet area. If we were playing The Sims 4, I would have the taller cabinets. And I also just then made one of the counters in the kitchen, the top of it was accidentally white instead of the matching timber. But I was like, you know what? I kind of like it. I kind of like that one part of it's not like the rest, because I feel like that could maybe be the points or the section that you would chop things up on. Maybe it's like a built-in chopping board or something like that. Got rid of the bookshelves because I thought the bookshelves didn't look very nice and a little bit cluttered. Putting in some plants here. Move objects is on, obviously, so we've just layered them, and we're going to put a couple of other plants in this area. So this is when we get rid of the ones I wasn't really feeling, and then we start putting rocks around these pot plants or plant pots, however you want to say it. And yeah, I don't know. I just think it looks a lot better. And then we actually do put some of the ferns from the build mode, as well as the plant pots, to kind of create that idea that it's just a bit of greenery amongst the stones or the rocks. Kind of cool. I think it works in the end. Yeah, I think it works. And then mucked up the wall there. That was a bit annoying. And making sure the windows match those darker parts of the walls. And we put in 3 mirrors here. I like mirrors because they add an extra dimension to space. So the mirrors give the illusion that the room you're working with is a lot bigger than it is. So we are just popping those in there, having a bit of fun with the different colors, keeping it simple. And then this bar area is quite cute. We end up putting a couple of pillars next to the bar, and the bars, I feel like bars that I've seen, I've never had a bar in my house, but bars that I have seen, they're not really an object. I feel like they're more built into the house, like a kitchen, like counters. So I feel like in The Sims, they look a bit out of place when they're just kind of there. So putting the columns on either side of it, and we actually put some curtains there too, which I thought was really cute and beachy looking. That just looked terrible, just experimenting. But we put these curtains there, and I just thought that gave a really lovely beachy feel to the place. So I know it's nice. The curtains are white as well, so they tie in with the chairs. So it's all working, and also the stones under the surface of the table. The lounge room here, we make an L-shaped couch with a box in the corner to cover up where the objects intersect, and I don't know, I thought it was kind of cool. I thought it worked. We do muck around for a little while with it, but that's basically the general shape of it, or what it's going to be. And those couches are from the Fastlane stuff pack. There was actually, surprisingly, some really handy objects that came with that pack. I thought they were really nice. And then, yeah, just setting up the couches, making them look a bit nicer in terms of their color swatches. And I do like that green chair. I mean, obviously, I like the chair when it's been changed a bit. I don't know, I think it looks good in the end. Once the white base is changed to timber, it looks much more expensive, I think. So playing around with the colors there, again, cancelled out some of that pattern to make it a bit more simplified and make it into a pattern that I was feeling. And yeah, we've got this kind of box table there. So we're just having a play with the couch to cover up that box because it has drawers on the other side. I didn't want it exposed, but I think in the end they were slightly exposed. But you know, it's all right. Kind of liked the idea of those stripes, but they reminded me of chocolate. So I don't know, it's probably a bit far-fetched, but I was like, it looks like chocolate. So we do turn it down a little bit. There's also a bar cart behind the couch because how handy would that be? I really want to buy a bar cart. Ever since I saw Miss Glamorazzi's New York apartment room tour, she has a little bar cart. I'm like, I need a bar cart. Stat. I need a bar cart. So, yeah, I want to get that. The lamp here, the lamp looked nice with some black in it. I felt like because there was a lot of light colors in the room, I really wanted some black accents because I didn't want it to look like overly feminine, if you get what I mean. Like it just needed a bit more darker contrast in some places. Nice easel here would be pretty good space to paint, I think. And stacks of books there because I think you'd do a lot of reading if this was your holiday or vacation home. This table I wanted a hallway table and there weren't any thin enough because Supernatural does have hall tables that are thin, but I didn't have any with the expansion packs that I had installed, so we put it through the wall, and on this side it's a hall table, and on the other side it gets made into the bathroom sink area. A couple of paintings leaning against the wall there, or making them look like they're leaning against the wall. I love paintings that lean. It's definitely a deli thing. I love it. So kitchen's got stainless steel cupboards, which is pretty badass. I probably wouldn't have that in real life, but I kind of liked the graphics in the game, how it's all reflective. And here we are making that side of the table into the bathroom. I'm 90% sure your Sims will be able to use that sink without problems from previous experience, but we'll see, I guess. Putting some lighting in. The bathroom's very light because it's in the center of the house. It doesn't have any natural daylight. I think in real life you'd obviously have like a skylight. I was about to say skyscraper. No, skylight. And I don't know. It's a pretty cool bathroom. I love that plant in the corner. I don't know why. I think it's just because it has orange in it. But I'm like, I like it. And yeah, so that's the main bathroom. There's a toilet and a shower and some towels on the side there. Mismatched little, I guess, bath mat things. And we're just putting down some carpeted floor tiles there for the hallway. Works quite nicely. I don't know why that board wouldn't stick on the wall. It was like floating way up high, and holding down Alt, I couldn't even pull it down to the ground. So I was like, whatever. Can't be bothered turning off move objects sheet, so I'll just delete it. We end up putting that board outside on the jetty area. Maybe the sim that lives here or that vacations here they come from the city, so they have some city photos. That was the idea behind that part of the house, that they have the cityscape to juxtapose against the beautiful Isla Paradiso. Maybe the sim actually comes from Bridgeport, who knows? Bridgeport is a world in The Sims 3, for those of you who don't know. Here's the master bedroom and the only bedroom. It's got way too much wood on the walls at the moment, so we do break it up a bit as we are doing now, and we go for a greeny color, a minty color. I thought that was different to blue because we've already got blue in the other rooms, and for some reason I was really getting into this bedside table that was made from wood and stone. I just thought it worked. The bedrooms got a neutral Duna cover. I think it's nice, and of course I wanted to use that purpley orchid plant because purple and green just look awesome together, so I used that. And then this wood texture here's got a bit of the minty green in it, but I wanted them to look like they were made from different beech woods, so I've changed the other colors of the other one slightly. Putting in some different objects, and yeah, it's all starting to come together now. We've got one nice lounge there to sit and look out at the ocean. How nice would that be? I mean, oh, I would love that. Be so awesome. Putting a bathtub in the ensuite and a matching shower to the other room, but this bathroom does have the bathtub, so that's pretty cool. Pretty cool. And timber top bathroom counters. I don't think anyone in Australia actually calls bench tops counters. Like, I just have never heard anyone say that. And the other day I said that in front of one of my friends. I said, oh, it's on the counter. And they're like, what? What did you say? What's a counter? I'm like, the bench top. I thought that was quite funny. Putting in some different blue colors around the place, different wallpapers, and it's really coming together now. We've basically finished the house. We'll do a bit of landscaping and then we'll get into the screenshots afterwards. Yeah, here comes the landscaping, the part that really makes the house look real and solid. So we're putting in some rocks around the house, which I think, I don't know, when they introduced all of those rocks in The Sims 3, I just thought it was awesome. Really handy. So popping them around the place. Pretty cool. And they kind of, because the house is up from the ground, I think they make it look more realistic having the rocks under there, because it's like part of the house's support is on those big rocks, which I quite like. Lots of ferns around the place, and Isla Paradiso or Island Paradise expansion pack came with heaps of really nice trees and bushes and flowers. So we go pretty crazy with those. The only problem is you have to be careful from not using too many different colors, because then it's just a rainbow mess. But yeah, I think it's coming together. It's looking at 8. It's looking 8. And yeah, let me know what you guys think. Let me know if you guys have enjoyed seeing some Sims 3 builds again. Really, why there hasn't been as many Sims 3 builds is because I've just been enjoying The Sims 4. This channel has been about me as a player, I guess just sharing with you guys what I've been creating or what I feel like. So I kind of go with my gut. I go with what I'm feeling like playing, and because I don't know, the quality of the video is always going to be better if you're doing something that you are interested in doing. So that's why I've been going with Sims 4. I've just felt like Sims 4. So please don't be offended by there not being as many Sims 3 builds. Of course, I'll always come back to the Sims 3 and work on it. I haven't forgotten about the beach share house either. That will be completed at some point. I'm not going to promise when, but hopefully in the not too far future. I'm putting in the lighting in too, because it needs to be nice and cozy at nighttime. But yeah, that's pretty much it coming together now. Putting some outdoor lighting in, and time for the screenshots. The screenshots are not the best graphics, but you get the idea of what the house is looking like. So yeah, it's kind of cool. the exterior, the lounge room, and then we've got, I totally forgot to paint the ceiling as well. My bad. Oh, that was an interesting slide transition from the other picture. Kitchen there, nice glass walls. You can see into that nice area where there's all the greenery. There's the bar. Pretty cool bar. I'd like that bar. And then looking down the hallway, lots of greenery on the left-hand side of the hallway whilst you look out to the beach on the other side. And the bedroom, oh my gosh, how awesome would that be? You'd have blinds in there, but I didn't really like the blinds in The Sims 3, so I didn't put them in there. In real life, you would though. Master bedroom, looking pretty awesome. But yeah, that's pretty much it. Let me know what you thought, and I hope you guys are having a splendid, awesome morning, afternoon, or evening, wherever you are in the world. And I'll speak to you soon.